was very discouraging. Yeah, forget the how the Blue Jays played, because you want to give them credit. They did what they were supposed to do. They mashed ugly pitching by the Yankees, what seemingly is a common occurrence now. It makes me think that some memo went out to all Major League Baseball teams. We are policing heavily the sticky stuff. Stop using it, otherwise you'll get busted like Edwin Diaz. Because for some reason, Rodon and Heel and Garrett Cole and all these Yankee pitchers, all of a sudden they can't place the ball anywhere? What the hell is going on
So that's
here?
really interesting. That's another parallel. So one of the accusations before the debate was that one of the candidates was going to be so drugged up, he was actually going to be coherent. Apparently, he didn't have his drugs last night.
Right,
and Tiki is saying the same thing about the Yankees.
Exactly.
They were sticking themselves up until Edwin Diaz occurred, and now nobody can get anybody out.
You know the face palm emoji?
Yes.
It's in all of our phones these days. I wanted to do that over and over and over and over again, no matter what I was watching on television last night.
Well, can I present to you with some hopeful news? And unfortunately, the hopeful news I present to you with is not about our country. We're screwed, okay? I would just say that. Like, the debate is the debate. Our candidates are the candidates.
Oh.
No one has the balls to change the candidates, so we're just all screwed.
Why have a June debate we talked about yesterday? Now you know.
To take one out?
Now you know.
You know what? We'll actually do that later. We'll have a long-form debate on who the next Democratic nominee will be. But in my opinion, this is my opinion, these are the candidates, deal with it. But when it comes to the New York Yankees, and I understand that it's very difficult for me to say this to you on June 28th, I am going to go up against the wind. I'm going to go up against probably what Sean will say, what you're saying, what Sal talked about for 4 hours. But I honestly mean it. The New York Yankees are not this bad. Carlos Rodon is not this bad. This lineup is not this bad. The New York Yankees are not destined to failure. I get what we've witnessed over the last 2 weeks. I get it. I get that over the last 3 starts specifically, we've seen dreadful performances from Garrett Cole, Luis Heel, and last night, Carlos Rodon. I can't deny what we witnessed. But what I can deny to you is that this is our new reality. Because it's not. Because last night, if you watched the Yankee game, you would see that Carlos faced some of the worst possible luck in the bottom of the first inning of this game.
Right.
And that is not spin from Aaron Boone. That's me. That's IBO just giving you an observation on what happened in that first inning. He hit a guy ahead of the count. He gave up a hard hit ground ball that Anthony Volpe a month ago probably eats up and makes the play on. Then he gives up the weakest broken bat double you'll ever see to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And then Ben Rice has, I don't know what he's thinking, his head up his derriere like he's in a debate in Georgia, and he's wishing for a ball to go foul that he should just take the out on and allow a run to score. And then, yes, after getting ahead of George Springer, Carlos Rodon threw a fat fastball, and it got pummeled. Yeah. I'm not trying to tell you he was great, but what I'm trying to tell you is he faced a lot of bad luck last night.
He did.
That I don't think means he's cooked or means he can't pitch in New York or means this is his destiny.
I don't think he's cooked either, because he's been too good at the early part of this season. But it does feel like that whole confidence thing that we've talked about a lot with Yankee pitchers. It was Luis Severino a year ago. We all remember having that conversation. He seems to have it back right now with the New York Mets. But that's what it's starting to sound like when you listen to some of these pitchers post bad outings. Garrett Cole is different, because Garrett Cole is he's a stone wall. You're never going to get, I suck out of him. But you're starting to hear those same things, like he doesn't have the answer, or he doesn't have the confidence to find the answer, and that's what gets worrisome. That's what makes you feel despondent about it. It's one thing to know what you're doing wrong. It's another to be able to fix it. And it seems like after these multiple bad outings in a row from Rodon, obviously Heel was as well. Cole, I forgive, is only a second start of the season. But those two in particular, who are going to be counted on to be so important in this rotation, have just been bad. I mean, we can crush the lineup as much as we want. But when these games start, and it's crooked number after crooked number every single first, second inning, it's just like, what are we hopeful for?
But you know what? You know what I'd be hopeful for? Right now, the New York Yankees are not pitching well. You're 100% right. You just laid it out. Right now, the New York Yankees aren't hitting. Like, it'll be forgotten about. They had 3 hits last night, okay? Their offense has been pathetic. They are slumping in all aspects of their team. but they're not this bad.
Of course
Usually bad teams, and the Mets did this earlier this season, you slump in one aspect of your game, and you're performing well in another, and you're finding ways to lose. Then the other aspect of your team starts to play better, and then the other one that was playing well starts to play worse, and you're still finding ways to lose. Right now, the Yankees are going through a period, and that's why it's easy. It is easy to wake up this morning or talk to your friends this afternoon and say they stink. They're not any good. Everything we saw in the first 2 months is an aberration. It's easy because they're bad at everything right now. And I'm telling you, and I will be proven right, not because I'm wanting it, but because I understand baseball's a long-ass season.
Of course.
They're not this bad.
No, they're not.
Their offense isn't this bad. Their starting pitching isn't this bad. From top to bottom, Tiki, this is not who they are.
Yeah, it's just discouraging. And again, they're 21 games still over 500. They're now in second place in the AL East, and that stings. But whatever, that is what it is. There's still a lot of baseball still to be played, but it's discouraging to watch them not have answers or to put back to back bad outings and into the sphere. And because it makes you feel like, they just need a break. They need the All-Star break to come.
Right.
The All-Star break is 16 games away.
I understand.
Right? It's just a long time to be bad. Now, let's face it. If they just lose every game through, they'll still be 500 going to the All-Star break. And we hope that doesn't happen. But that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just waiting for the worst. And the worst really hasn't happened yet because – a 4-game losing streak is bad. If they go a week or more and can't get things completely right, then you feel like the roof is caved in.
I understand.
The difference, and you said this about the Mets were finding ways to lose. Right? They were playing well. Like sometimes it'd be a bad pitching outing or a bad bullpen outing, or the bats would go quiet. But the other parts of the team were actually okay.
Right, and that's more discouraging.
Yeah, well, no, to me that's. You just need to figure it out. Like, you need to figure out how to manage this bullpen so that you're not putting these guys in high-leverage situations that they can't handle and they fail, right? As long as you're scoring runs, you can figure one piece out. The bats were just let's change the lineup a little bit. Let's get this guy in this spot, move him up to 4, whatever. We can find a way. The pitching's good. The Yankees right now don't have anything good.
No, but
so that's worse. That's what I'm saying. That's worse.
See, I disagree. To me, it feels worse because you're getting your ass kicked every single night. Yeah. And Aaron Boone said that the other day after the Subway Series. We're getting our teeth crushed in. And those are the facts. When you look at this stretch of games, and really, I would say the losing really started at the end of the Boston series.
Yeah.
Because even after they lost that series to L.A., it was like, all right, Soto was out. It is what it is. And they responded by winning.
Dodgers.
And it's the Dodgers. They're a very good team. They responded by winning 3 in a row in Kansas City, where you never had a doubt, especially game 2 and 3 of that series. They lost a brutal finale to the Royals, okay, no harm, no foul, and blew the Red Sox out in game 1 of that series. Really, since then, and that's the stretch of games that we're on right now where they've lost 9 out of 11. They haven't just lost 9 out of 11. A lot of those games have been blowouts. Right. Games where they're non-competitive, like last night, like both games of the Subway Series, even though game 1 ended 9-7, like the finale of the Baltimore Series where they lost 17-5. But when everything is going bad, and that's what's happening right now, the Yankees are playing bad in every aspect.
Yep.
That actually makes me feel better because I know they're not that bad.
No, they're not. And you can see this in just how Rodon responded. He still pitched into the game. It's not like he got pulled, got chased in the second inning, right? So he still stayed out there, even though it was ugly and he felt like the game was over after 3 innings. And so I think there's a silver lining, but its silver lining doesn't help the ass kickings feel any better.
No, look, it is tough to find a silver lining when you are getting crushed every single day.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest with you that I can't look at this team and say these 11 games is the truth. These 11 games are what they are. They stink. They're bad. They're pathetic.
No, I don't believe
Fire
that.
Cashman.
I don't
Get
believe
rid
that.
of everybody. It is a horrible stretch of baseball. Nobody can deny that. It is concerning that it's happening now against a mediocre to bad team like the Toronto Blue Jays. But I cannot, and I know why you feel this way, Yankee fans. I understand, because it's easy. Over the course of a baseball season, it is easy to lean in to the recency of now. Just like it's easy as a Met fan to lean into, we're going to win the World Series. You can't stop us. It's easy. But the truth is, things change quickly in baseball, just like it did negatively for the Yankees. Because imagine, and I think back to that Thursday afternoon against Kansas City. It's my first day of jury duty, right? They won the first 3 games against the Royals, and they blew a game. They blew a game. Final game of the series against Kansas City. And we had an abbreviated show. We talked, maybe for an hour or so, a little bit about Clay Holmes, about the Yankees. And the attitude was, all right, you know what? We're 49-22. You can't win them all. We're clicking. We're on pace to win 110 games. Deep breath. And then out of nowhere, with no sign from anywhere, they started to play awful baseball, beginning with Game 2 in Boston, with a Carlos Rodon start of all starts. And it came out of nowhere, much like the Mets' success came out of nowhere. So I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be tonight in Toronto. I don't know if it's going to be at Yankee Stadium against Cincinnati. I don't know when the hell it's going to be. But I just know, Tiki,
of course,
they are going to play a hell of a lot better than this and will remind you of the team that was on pace to win 110 games, not the team that for the last 2 weeks is playing like a 110 lost team.
Yeah, I'm not a Chicken Little advocate. I don't believe in that sky falling. Let's get rid of everything. Let's scream as loud as we can. These guys have no pride. These guys don't want to be out there. It's a disgrace. Like, it's easy to say those things. That's not true. You're not 52. You're on 52 wins, 83 games into a season if you are that team. Like, the character is there. The performance is not. And so I just look in the moment. It's the same thing when I have an argument. We talked about this the other day. You have an argument with your wife or significant other. They start bringing up old stuff. Like, forget the old stuff, man. Let's talk about right now. Right? Tell me about the issue. Okay, I forgot to do the dishes. My bad. I'll do them from now on.
I didn't have sex with a porn star.
I did not say that. But it worked for Bill Clinton, so hey, maybe. So, stay here. Stay right now. Stop looking at the big picture. I knew this back in early April. This was the case, even though they were winning at that time. I'm not that guy, and I'm not that kind of fan. But all I can say is that when you look at a team that can't find the answer, that's when you get a little bit worried, right? And when they know what's going wrong, but they don't have an answer for it, that's when you get a little bit worried. And this is where leadership and managing and not even really Cashman, but just something needs to shift. And whether it's a mental reset, whether it's a Francisco Lindor type player-only meeting, whatever it is, it needs to happen, and it needs to happen quick because we're starting to get frustrated as viewers of this team.
I think there's some truth to what Evan said. I would rather the starting pitching, the bullpen, the lineup all fail at once and go through the most unwatchable baseball period for 2 to 3 weeks than have these problems. You're hitting, but the pitching isn't there.
Whack-a-mole is what I call it.
Yeah, that to me creates a bigger long-term solution. But the problem is, as we sit here right now, and you're right, maybe it is a players-only meeting. I don't know how anybody watches this baseball team and can just shut their eyes and picture the early days and not acknowledge that it is impossible to see an end in sight right now. And that's what scares me to death.
I'll give you the end in sight right now. And Yankee fans, if you have optimism and hope, explain where it comes from. We'll take the optimistic Yankee fan and the fatalistic Yankee fan. The number is 888-808-1019. The Yankee fan who has their reasons on why things were turned, and the Yankee fan who sees the sky falling and thinks I'm delusional that they will more reminisce the early season team than the team of the last few weeks. But I will give you my reasoning before we hear from the people. And my reasoning is this. Tonight, Marcus Stroman is pitching. Has Marcus Stroman had a good year in your mind?
Yes.
Okay. Do you trust Marcus Stroman?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. He's facing his former team tonight in Toronto against the Blue Jays. Marcus Stroman is one of the starting pitchers who I think you could look at and say, he's had a good year. I kind of trust him.
Yeah.
So, number one, I think you can get a quality start tonight. Number two, Gleyber Torres is going to be reinserted into this lineup at some point. My guess, and we'll find out before we sign off today, is it's going to be tonight. He's had his 2 days off. I know he's the whipping boy. I know you don't like him, Yankee fans. He is not this bad. And maybe 2 days of sitting will wake him up. It can happen. Alex Verdugo is not this bad. He will wake up. He will give you a hot streak at some point. Anthony Volpe, who I think is very underrated in this, has done nothing for a month. We can call him out. I think Anthony Volpe has proven he's kind of a streaky player. He will get hot at some point. Like, you have guys on this team who are better, clearly, than the way they've played over the last few weeks. So when you ask, I don't see any reason why things are going to change. They'll change because it's baseball. They'll change because this suckingness that we've watched over the last few weeks doesn't have to be their reality. Alex Verdugo doesn't have to be this.
That's the one.
Well,
to me.
I mean, there's more than just one.
Yeah.
But
I have more trust in, at some point, Verdugo will snap out of his slump. I get that Glaber sat for 2 days, and we were all in favor of it, and I hope that he figures it out. But it is hard just to say, oh, it's baseball. Glaber is the guy that's going to turn around. I just don't know how you see and feel comfortable. He might have completely fallen off a cliff here offensively, and we never get him back.
I don't see. I mean, you do you believe that, or you just think
Tiki,
that that's the case?
I usually don't think that way.
He's been too good at moments,
but
and he's too young.
We're 3 days away from July 1st.
But
This is more than now a month.
But this could just be a summer swoon, right? You get into the summer, it gets hot as hell, it gets dragged. It's exhausting, right? I played golf this morning, right? And I know by 8 o'clock tonight I'm going to be asleep.
You played golf this morning?
Yes, I was terrible.
What kind of handicap do you have? Are you I've seen you swing, Tiki. There's no way your handicap's that good.
I don't know. Would you like to debate it?
You're the sucker. You're the loser.
But it exhausts you. And so, can you imagine playing a baseball game every day for however many days? Yeah, a couple off days here and there, some travel days, whatever. It's exhausting. Maybe they're just hitting the summer swoon, and you're gonna come out of it.
Well, I do have a solution specifically for Gleyber Torres that I will share with you when we come back. Plus, we'll get to your calls, Yankee fans. The optimistic Yankee fan who believes, don't worry, things will be fine. And the super negative Yankee fan who sees the sky falling. We'll hear from both of you guys at 888-808-1019. We'll get to the Mets a little bit later on because I've got a big bone to pick with a lot of you hypocrites. Plus, we'll mix in some football as the show rolls on as well. All live from the Town Fair Tires Studios.